If you look at companies acting in countries, if they act according to distributive justice, they look at how can we distribute in an equal way all kinds of resources, and they often exhaust these resources. In the capability model, you look far more at the situation as such, and you give tools to professionals to look and intervene in that situation. One of the things I like in the capability model is that it's explicitly normative also, so it has a normativity and it aims to make the world a better place. And the contextuality is, I think, important, and the focus on diversity. And the capability model says explicitly, well, people are different in all kinds of aspects, and so justice, you should look for justice, not for a person in the original position. When I walk on the street, I never meet such a person in the original position. Everyone I meet is very well aware if he or she is a man or a woman, if he or she is black or white, is young or old. So people know about themselves and act in that way. And you should look for justice, not for this non-existing men or women in the original position, but for people in all the diversity as they really exist. The most common view on justice is distributive justice. Also, John Rawls, that I named, is very much in favor of that, but also in the capability model is based on distributive justice. Although Sen, as I said, has a quite different idea about it than John Rawls, because he looks for an equal distribution, not in resources, but in needs of people. But still distributive justice. And I think distributive justice, well, in short, it goes about the question who gets what and how much. And so it's focused on what divides people, because it leads often to that people go for their personal needs and things that they are important for them, and not for the communality or the community or the needs of that. Some people need more resources than others. If you have a cake and 8 people, then it might look honest to divide the cake in 8 exactly the same pieces, but maybe there is someone over 80 who says, I don't need a whole piece. And there might also be a pregnant woman who says, well, I can use 1.5 piece, or someone training for the marathon. Well, just so Sen says it should not be according equality in resources, but equity in the needs people have, and the needs to reach values in life that are important for people. In contributing to a community or an organization, you have entitlements in work, for example, for decent work, for valued work, and for work in which you can apply kinds of skills and knowledge. But you have also responsibilities in the sense that you should contribute according to your capacities or capabilities to the organization or the environment or community you are part of. You can make a division. You have research on the capability model as such, and you have research on the capability model applied to work, which we are involved in Obtentia and also in the Netherlands. And you see that as such, the capability model is becoming more and more influential. It started as a model for development economies. Amartya Sen, who developed this, is an economist himself, and also got a Nobel Prize for economy for his work. That was work which was still the base for the capability approach, not the capability approach itself. And you see that due to his work, this became very influential in, for example, the United Nations and the OECD and the World Bank and all kinds of economic institutions. And it is because Sen asked the questions, what is really important for people in their lives? And his idea was that in general, economy didn't give this kind of answers to people or to the societies. So the welfare of nations was often expressed in the gross national products of countries, and since that, well, no one wakes up in the morning very happy because the gross national product in his country raised for 0.5 point. So we give indicators for welfare that are not important at all for people. And he said what is important for people is that there is a good system of healthcare if you are ill, that there is a good system of education if you have children, that there is a good infrastructure in a country, that there, well, all that kind of things that are important for people, and he called that capabilities. People should have, and people have entitlements for, but people also have responsibilities in. And this way of looking at things became very influential. And after about, I think, 2000, the capability model became also influential in all kinds of other fields of science, healthcare, education. You see, for example, that in, let me call it main science, the focus is very much on determinants and how they contribute to, for example, outcomes. So you see then, for example, that in work and health, supporting leadership may, in a general way, lead or contribute to well-being in work for 0.41 percentage point. I just give an example. In the capability model, you look far more at the situation as such, and you give tools to professionals to look and intervene in that situation. And I think the capability model is much more apt than a lot of other models to specifically look to this kind of situations. And the concept of conversion factors gives the possibility to look at this situation, but it also gives indications how to intervene on it for professionals or to cope with it for the worker, him or herself. If you look at companies acting in countries, if they act according to distributive justice, they look at how can we distribute in an equal way all kinds of resources, and they often exhaust these resources. What should a company contribute to the environment and to the society they are part of? So on more levels, you can look at the concept of contributive justice And I think it's a far more unifying and responsible concept than distributive justice, which is focused on, how can we divide the cake as good as possible.